Hello, my name is Ian,
And I'm Lauren.
and this is our mobility club practice on a Wednesday evening, live from our Bars and Bells studio. We have these simple and whoa, that'll happen. Simple and very sophisticated tools in our wooden exercise clubs, and we plan to use them in the Indian club swinging way and other fun ways for strength, mobility, endurance, and other fun things that we can train here. Let's take our clubs and gently place them on the floor for 1 second.
One
And they
second.
may or may not stand up depending on the levelness in your floor. And we'll first start at our feet, warming up our feet, knees, hips. Grab onto that balance aid if you need, but if you feel good with your balance, let's rock with it. Hands, hip holsters. Let's get those hands on those hip holsters. And first, before anything else, suck yourself into a straw. What do you mean by that? I mean, root your feet heavy, pull your kneecaps up, pull the knees or legs together, squeeze your butt cheeks, bring your rib cage down, and grow all at the same time. And for 10 more seconds, cramp your bum. For
Already
4,
was.
3, coast away that tension. Do that one more go. Heavy feet in the ground, kneecaps pulled up, knees pulling from the hips, squeezing the glutes together, squeezing or extending the hips forward, and for 3 more seconds, create tension and relax. Think of that tension as we go through this next group of exercises, warming up the feet, knees, and hips. Articulate through the foot, pulling to the ball of the foot. Point. Gently show yourself a sickled foot. That might feel nice. That might be a nice stretch. For the purpose of this exercise, stay away from that. Find center. Flex over toes as allowed. Come back to the point. Push the ball foot down. Push the heel down heavy. And then pull up the front of the foot.
Sorry, ouchie.
Relax the full foot on the floor. Repeat one more go. Create tension pushing through. Point, perhaps flexing over toes, back the toes, full foot, press down heel, and pull up or dorsiflex on the ankle. Repeat that leg heavy. Alternate to the other side. Press to center, to point, to flex, to point, to the ball. Take a quick moment, do a sickled ankle. That might feel nice. Avoid that here today. Pull to center, down. Pulling or dorsiflexing the foot to the shin. Heavy foot. Repeat one more time. Ball of foot heavy. Fighting for center as I was there. Pointing, flexing over the toe. Pointing, pulling to the foot, and crushing a pop can under the heel, and then raising the front of the foot. And relax. Might need a little bit more room. So I'm going to scooch over here.
Scooch.
Slight scooch back. And work on some développés from our ballet practice. Is a fun exercise to work on there. Take a single leg off the floor and hold it in this coup de pied position. Hold yourself together in that straw for 3, 2, that leg to the floor. Repeat the other side. Pull up to coup de pied, sucking those legs together, squeezing your glutes, the side glutes, feel the hip holsters for 2 more seconds. Return to the floor. Alternate sides. Next to the knee, and hold that there for 3, 2, press down. Repeat the other side, flexing the hip, up, and holding for 3, 2, and down. Now we're going to do 2 per side here. Switch to the original leg, pulling to your safe height, perhaps that retire position at the knee. Now look at that knee, hold it in the same place, and gently extend with either karate foot or Lauren's awesome ballet foot. Tap down either the heel or the toe, pull across. Perform one more time on the same side. Cramp up the standing leg, Pull in nice and tight and tall. Hold the knee in the same position. And with the ballet or the karate, hold for time. Heel or toe strike in. Repeat on the other side. Pull up towards retire. Hold the knee in the same position and extend on the knee and hold for 3, 2, always with control. Toe tap for Lauren, heel strike for me. Pull under, repeat one more. Up to retire, extension through the knee, and hold for 2, 1. Tap and pull underneath. Relax that for a moment. Hips feel open, hips feel worked. Hopefully
Sizzle,
they
sizzle.
feel working.
Sizzle,
We'll get to
sizzle.
those hips in 1 second. Till we do, get those wrists going. With your elbows in tight to the body, lace your fingers together. 5 in a row, 4, little wrist rolls, 2, 1, switch your direction. For 5, 4, be carefree, think about it, don't think about it, make it your own. Open your hands, straighten your elbows, lace the hands together out front, and the same thing. Elbows might bend, might straighten. Could you try to do it with straight elbows? That will be a really big challenge or something that would feel different than being loosey-goosey, but play with it there. Relax that. Let's place those hands behind our back. They could be tight together here. The longer out would be pretty darn tough. Oops, tucking out there. But again, those hands behind the back and very slow and control. Use a little bit of brain gym there and try to make it go. 3 and 2 and relax. The wiggles.
That was tricky.
Now, let's stand in our first position, get a little bit back to the cues on those hips. Let's take those elbows out to the side, and with the palms facing down, brush the tops of your shoulders. Open the palms up towards the ceiling, straightening the elbow, turning the palm back over, brushing the tops of the shoulders, opening up, and one more time in that same direction. Are your feet heavy? Are your knees straight?
Are you in a straw?
Are you in a straw? And switch your direction, extending or straightening the elbows, turning the palms up, trying to get towards the backs of the ears there, tops of shoulder brush, extend, palms up, backs of ears, tops of shoulders, last one. And straight and down. I'd like to get on the floor quickly, one quick repetition of our hip car from all fours, then we'll get up and be working with our clubs for the rest of the practice. To the floor. Hinge, let's work on that hinge. Hinge, what does your hinge look like? Vertical shins, packed shoulders. There's a limitation to the hinge, of course, so then gently get towards the floor. On all fours here, repeating one repetition of our hip bar or a hip car from a bent knee position. Ready to go, Lauren?
Yeah.
Okay. Pack your shoulders, grip the floor. All of our cues for the wrists approve here. Pull a knee off the floor as to pull or compress in the hip socket, and flex your hip forward, meaning the knee comes forward here. Reach out to the side, prioritizing that our hips stay level. Holding a pair of socks behind the knee is allowed. Gently holding on as if it's a pair of 100-year-old silk. And then we're pulling that knee into center. So either hold that so delicately, that pair of socks in between the knee, or crush it. Prepare for that cramp. Final repetition on this leg is our hip extension to the back, cramping up the glute, bracing our core. Lock in key action in the hip as we open up to the outside. Pull to the outside of the elbow to forward, and then return that leg underneath the hip. Shake out, readjust the grips, one repetition on the other side. Hip compression, lifting off the floor first. Hip flexion, bringing the knee forward next. We have long spines, mobile and stable hips at the same time here as we open up into that rotation, holding on to that pair of socks behind the knee and the hamstring calf combo, and then gently flexing the hip, knee forward, keeping the tailbone long. Repeat one more repetition to the back in our hip extension, core brace, cramp up glute, lock and key, rotate, open towards that elbow in the front, pull into the straw, and return to the knees. Take time, come up through the hinge. Press towards my down dog or our mountain peak. I'm going to soften my knees to maintain my long spine and drive my hips through. Yeah, back to those quadruped drills at the very end, I hope. A little bit of some extra muscle burn there. But now we're going to focus on those movement patterns like our clock and our clubs.
Should I get my gloves?
Grab your clubs. Let's grab those clubs.
Oops.
Take a minute, 30 seconds to a minute here, and warm up with me. I'm going to start warming up. Nice, you're in a different corner.
I know.
I'm warming up in my first position here, pulling myself into that straw shape, and I'm warming up my wrist circles, and then from my first to my second positions. If you have a certain warm up you like, go for it. Otherwise, follow along. Hook grip, ring grip, and just a single club here, 5 in a row, 3, 4, 5, and then switch, and for 5, 4, 3, 2, and then bring it into that first position. Same thing on the other side. Hook or ring grip. Have a U, more than a perfect ring here for me. And then for 5, 4, non-dominant hand showing itself there. Can't talk as much as I do it. Maybe one more. And then switch that direction for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And also return that to the first. From the first position, let's get a little bit more extra wrist going on there. Maybe 2 more of those flexion and extension series out to the side. And then same thing on the other side. You could be very straight, forward, or forward and look out at that hand. Make it up. Open up that stance, second position. From here, that armbar exercise, kettlebell work, and that second position arm here in our clock. Packing a shoulder, neutral wrist, pointing it, dropping it, pulling it in. Repeat a couple more on that same side. Again, from first to second, pack a shoulder, nice neutral wrist, and in. And 1 or 2 more here. Place it behind the back this time. Pack that shoulder, returning it to the retraction position, and same thing other side. From that first position to the second, strong and secure on the shoulder blade and the armpit. Final rep. And also, place behind. Wardrobe malfunction here. Excuse me. With those clubs behind, let's close our stance to our first position and just walk around the movement clock once. I'm going to land toe heel out front at midnight. Push off, return center. Toe heel to that 2 o'clock, push center. Heel, center. For those 3, our hips should have been facing forward. This one, cramp up your standing leg and open to a different corner. Return center, and then toe heel to the back, bend knee in the back, push off, return center. Same thing, other leg. Toe heel to the front, center. Diagonal or 11 o'clock, hips facing forward. 9 o'clock or lateral, hips facing forward. Cramp up the standing leg, find a new corner, and then toe heel to the back, knee bend, first, second, clubs. Return 2 clubs to second position, same time or one at a time. A pow, a pow. Bring them into the rack. And now some rising patterns. Wrists, elbows, shoulders, wrists. Pause here. Where are your wrists? Are they neutral? Were they in extension like a push-up? Or neutral how you might box? And I'm not the pro, so maybe don't use that analogy, Ian. Now, but from this position, bend the elbows and return. Let's repeat 5 more of those in a more rhythmic pattern. Wrists, elbows, shoulders, wrists, elbows, shoulders, and go. 2 and 3. Bum is squeezing. We're nice and tight down low and controlled up top. Final repetition. Pause and rack. We'll fall, slow at first again, keeping the armpits heavy. Extension through the elbow. Finish with the wrist. And down. And for about 5, a little more rhythmic. 1 and 2 and 3. This is probably the favorite pattern across all of our students that we get to train with here. Last 2.
I like doing that.
But no matter how many times in a row, it's still so hard when that left comes in front. Last one, last one, last one. Return to rack. Return to that first position. Return to first position. This time, the leg that moves stays straight. The leg that stays will bend.
Ooh.
Got it?
I think so.
Please feel free to work from your turned out position in first or more of your parallel position in the front. Which one are you going to do? Turned out? Okay, so my feet are parallel like on skis. Lauren's turned out like our ballet. Both are right, but if you, again, step and come returning center, return to parallel, or return to first. Standing leg bends. Straight leg out the front. Standing leg bends, cramp up tall. Diagonal pattern, standing leg bends, cramp up to tall. Lateral pattern, cramp up to tall. Backwards pattern, hips are still forward this time. Stand up tall and to the back. Doesn't need to be far. Tame that lumbar extension and to tall. Repeat the other side. Standing leg bends. Straight leg to the front, cramp up tall. Straight leg to the diagonal, cramp up tall. And the same to lateral. The same to that back corner. And then lastly, straight behind and tall. Fantastic. Open up to first. Open up to that second position. This is our miming exercise for tonight. No words, just follow along. And link those together. And for 30 seconds, try to keep that going. I'm going to stay in the same position, and I'm going to challenge Lauren to move. There you go. For 10. And I'm going to go a little faster here if we're allowed to. This is probably one of my favorite drills.
Yeah, I do like this one too.
Last one.
Especially when you get in the rhythm, it's like
right on. Return to rack.
Sorry.
Return to the rack. Love it. It's fun. I like it. So return to rack.
Rack.
Return to that first position. And then close. Cool?
Cool.
Okay. I'd like to do this very same thing with those knee bends. If You want to regress and just really familiarize with that nice toe heel action by all means. If we can transition into the standing leg bending, let's work on that for one more time around that movement clock. I'm in parallel, Lauren's in that gorgeous first position. And again, stiff leg out front, flexing hip, knee, ankle, extending the same. Diagonal, cramp up, tall. Lateral, visualize those glutes, cramp up, tall. To the back with those flashlights facing forward, to tall. And lastly, out the back, knee tracking toe, nice strong hips, and under. Other time, same deal. My stationary leg will bend. Stiff leg to the front, cramp up to tall. Diagonal, cramp up tall. Lateral, breathe. Flashlights facing forward, cramp up. And again, to the back, extend. Take one club, keep it on the front of the hip. Adjust your stance as you wish. Bring the other club out to the side. In the front, in the back, in the front, in the back. Can you see or feel how your elbow can stay straighter in the front than it can in the back?
True.
That's fine. Do one more time and return it to that first position. Same thing other side. Club out to the side, pass it in front and then behind and alternate. Front and behind. And front.
Make sure you make a decision so you don't hit yourself.
And front and behind. Final one, front and behind. Return to first. The next movement that we'll get into again, we'll take a club to the side. We'll bring it behind our back, in front, and then to the rack.
You had some technical
I've been losing that a lot today, actually. We'll try to make that work. Again,
let me help.
we'll get it. That's good. So, excuse me. We had a club out to the side. And we got it to the back, to the rack, to the side, to the back, to the rack, back, to the rack, and rack.
I use my index finger a little bit. Is that allowed?
Yeah, use what you got. You can
just
add
a little
those
bit almost
flares
behind
into that.
me. It helps me flick it.
It's about that dexterity and that control. Last repetition here.
I was trying to get fancy like you.
Yeah. So just really focus on this transition. You can do that with a flexed elbow throughout, just nice ins and outs here. But again, it is definitely about that dexterity and the suppleness of all those joints. It's definitely less strict than some of our other things. It's meant to be a little bit creative and flow. Where does it have to flow for you? Repeat the other side. I got carried away there. I only did my one side. So I'm going to return it to the back, in the front, to the rack. Out the side, in the back, return to rack.
This started harder for you?
Yep, my non-dominant side is tough. Months, unfortunately, since I've played basketball. What I found is my training, working on that dexterity, those brain gym exercises,
Sorry,
it shows up for you other places.
Wasn't laughing at you.
Whole movement there, really fun to work on that shape. Return to first. I like to place all that together loosely in our flow with our clubs and the clocks. Memorize the pattern. We'll work front, 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 side, side. Then the back corners will open up. Will open up. Sound okay?
Yes.
My mic's all the way down here, so I hope it's still connected. If it comes out my foot, I guess we know, ankle, I guess we know it's not.
I'll block
Yeah,
it.
I kind of do. So have fun with those clubs for 10 more seconds.
Here, we'll do it again.
Little
front,
yep, toe heel, nice.
and back. Other front.
Yep.
And
then the new corner. Yep. New corner and new corner. Yeah, great. So slightly add slightly more challenging positions as we explore the parallel turned out. From first, club out to the side, center. Club out to the side, center. Club in, club out, club in, harder on that side, club out. Reach to the new corner, send it back to the rack. Reach to the new corner and send it to the rack. And for one repetition, doubles, elbows, wrists, and through. Return to low.
I like that.
Repeat. To the front, out. Front. Return to that first position. Return to that first position. Send it wide, rack. Send it wide, rack, and one. And return to rack. One more time through. Front, together, side, first position club, first position club, send it out the back, send it out the back, open up, and return to first. Club heads down, feet in parallel if they weren't, implement your hinge, gently let go. Last exercise for today, continuing to talk to those lateral hips, returning to all fours, hands and knees.
Oh, I know what's coming.
From this position, we'll do a quarter turn here. If your leg's this high, you should join the ballet. I recommend the National. They're pretty cool. If it's this high, you're probably doing it really, really well, and you probably feel lateral butt burn, and that's okay too. Pack your shoulders, get your all fours. Take a leg to the side. Pack your shoulders. You might have to rejig the hands to get a nice 30 base of support. Breathe.
Do you know
pack,
what's coming? Do you know
grip. Take a moment and look for a little bit of airspace underneath that leg. For 4, 3, 2, tap it down. What kind of foot did you have, Lauren?
Oh, it was pointed.
I started pointing and finished dorsiflex.
It was crying a little bit.
I'm going to start in that dorsiflex position, rejig my hips, take a sniff and brace, and for up to 10 seconds, lifting up for 5, 4, 3, tap it down. With control, bring it under, and repeat the other side. On all fours. Oops, those clubs are going to get in the way. I see it, I feel it. Leg out to the side. I have my foot flexed to the ankle in a dorsiflex position. I'm cramping up and slowly looking to lift for 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Tap it down. Take a break, straighten the knee. Rejig the hands, final repetition of the day. Straight knee, brace the core. Lifting up for 5, and 4, and 3, and 2. Tap. Slow flex of the hip and the knee to bring it under. And to tall.
Well, that was fun.
Excellent.
It really was.
Yes, I agree. Thank you very much for joining our movement club practice here tonight.
Mobility club, but close.
Mobility club. And I might just change the name and the time. We might not be here next week at 5 p.m.
Stay tuned. Updates
Doesn't
to
mean
follow.
that our movement practice will stop. Just means that we're on a new day, probably a Saturday morning at 8. Stay tuned, updates to our schedule and
Our life.
because our life is online right now. Teaching, sharing, following, subscribing, and doing all those things online. Liking, subscribing.
I'm Lauren.
I'm Ian. Together we're Bars and Bells. We train with simple strength, we train with fun, and we want to train you in class soon. Take care, have a great night. See you later.